Hi, my name is Steve Kleiman. I'm the author of Kodiak Performance. Kodiak Performance is one of a series of free open source apps for aircraft performance. The apps are available for Apple and Android mobile devices and also on any desktop or laptop computer by using a browser. Please visit pohperformance.com for more details. This video is about setting up an aircraft and using the weight and balance page. If you'd like to follow along using your browser, please go to pohperformance.com/Kodiak. Setting up the app is similar to all other POH Performance apps. There are instructions and other videos available on pohperformance.com under the Getting Started tab. Let's define a real aircraft on the aircraft page. One alternative is to select the aircraft page from the drop-down under the More tab, but it's easier just to hit the Edit button in the aircraft panel from the main flight performance page. On smaller displays like phones, you get to the aircraft page by pressing the Slide In menu button and selecting the aircraft page. Okay, back to the iPad. I'll hit the plus button above the left-hand aircraft list to add another aircraft. The new aircraft will be initially populated with the same data as the current aircraft, if any. In this case, it's the default Series 2 aircraft. First, let's put in the registration number for the name. We'll call it NTEST. Notice that the aircraft model and options that have airplane flight manual supplements have the sources of the aircraft or option data that the app uses. It's a good idea to verify these against the POH and flight manual supplements in your POH. It's important to add the aircraft serial number. The serial number can affect the available options and the performance calculations. If you leave this as 0, the app will assume the most recent version of the selected model. Select the options installed on the aircraft. Like the serial number, the selection or deselection of options can impact many things. In some cases, selecting an option will make other options appear or disappear. Let's put in the basic empty weight and arm from the POH weight and balance report. The Kodiak does not have a standard seat configuration for weighing the airplane, so you'll have to enter the configuration used in the report. There are 3 preset configurations that you can set up with buttons. Configuration A and B are illustrated in section 6 of the POH. The cargo configuration is configuration A with no passenger seats. The app allows you to set each seat anywhere in its cabin cargo zone. You can adjust or remove seats as required, but the app will enforce minimum seat pitch requirements. More on that in a bit. At the bottom of the empty weight section is an entry to select or define the current seat configuration, which can be different from the one used in the weight and balance report. Similar to the empty weight seat configuration, you can adjust or remove seats as required, but the app will enforce minimum seat pitch requirements. If adjusting or adding a seat will violate pitch requirements, the app will ask you whether you'd like to move other seats or to remove a seat in order to accommodate the request. The app automatically marks empty zones behind any installed seats as available for cabin cargo. Empty seats forward of installed seats may not be used for cargo per the Kodiak POH. Notice that the app computes a new adjusted empty weight and arm for the current seat configuration. This is used as a basis for the final weight and balance calculation. The app allows you to define multiple different named seat configurations and select them as required. Select the desired one here or by using a similar selector on the weight and balance page or the quick setup page. You can add more than one aircraft. Select the desired one here or by using the selector on the flight performance page. Some operators remove the external cargo compartments seasonally. In this case, it's best to define 2 separate aircraft, one with ECC and one without, because 2 separate weight and balance reports will be required. Let's go to the weight and balance page. This is where you enter the fuel, TKS fluid, crew and passengers, and the cargo carried on the aircraft for the flight. By default, the page will assume you will use the calculated fuel to destination from the en route page, but you can override that if required. First, notice that you can edit the current seat configuration or select from the seat configurations you previously entered. There are two different ways to enter passenger and baggage data: the station view and the manifest view. Let's start with the station view. The station view shows each installed seat in row order. Uninstalled seats are not shown. You can enter the occupant weights for any installed seat. It also shows all the available places to put baggage other than the cabin floor, such as the external cargo bays or the rear baggage area. You can enter the total weight of the baggage loaded in each area. Strap-down cabin floor cargo is handled separately, and we'll discuss that later. The manifest view creates a flight manifest for crew, passengers, and baggage. Each crew member and passenger is listed separately with their weight, and each may be assigned to any appropriate available seat. Press the plus or minus buttons to add or subtract passengers. You can then enter their weights and seat assignment. If the CG doesn't work out, you can reassign seats. Reassigning a passenger to an already assigned seat will swap the two. The manifest view also provides separate databases for passengers and crew to remember frequent occupants. To add to the database, simply enter a name and weight, and then hit the Save button. To retrieve an entry from the database, press the person icon and select the desired entry. You'll only see entries for people that have not been already assigned. To delete an entry, select it and then hit the trash can icon. If you don't see the person icon button at first, that's because the database is empty or there are no unassigned entries. When the seating configuration allows cabin floor cargo, the Cabin Cargo Groups panel appears. Cabin cargo is organized into groups, which are held in a net or on a pallet or in another type of container which is strapped down in the main cabin. Use the plus or minus buttons to add or subtract groups. Enter the total weight of each group and the zone and fuselage station of the group's estimated center of gravity. The zones are as shown in section 6 of the POH, and the fuselage stations are marked on the seat rails in the Kodiak. The app will only show stations where cabin cargo is allowed. The app will use this information to calculate the aircraft's CG and to ensure that zone loading does not exceed the limits. There's a lot more to the Kodiak Performance app. Take some time to explore. I hope this has given you the basics on how to define aircraft and use the weight and balance functions of Kodiak Performance. If you have general questions about the app, have ideas for a new feature, find something confusing, or want to send some feedback, please send email to info@pohperformance.com. Safe flying.